It is 7:12, and you won in Vegas, or you inherited some money. But how do you stretch out that extra cash? Steve has some tips for you in today's Smart Money Monday.
Yes, it's a dream come true. You hit it big in Vegas, or you get a big inheritance. Either way, a large amount of cash is coming your way soon. But before you go on that shopping spree, Grace, we're talking to you, you need to consider how you get the most out of that money. Kirk Nakamoto here from Bank of Hawaii, Ala Moana branch. Okay, Kirk, what's the first thing we need to consider?
Oh, good morning, Steve. Well, the first thing you want to do is resist the impulse to spend it all. You might want to take a step back and think about what you're doing with that. The reason being is that you probably grieving over a recent loss of a loved one, or totally surprised and excited that you just want a big hit in Vegas. So the initial impulse is potentially to make those spontaneous purchases. That could get very expensive, however. So the best thing to do is take a step back. First of all, think of what your financial goals are, or what your financial needs are, and then developing a plan so that your financial goals can be met for the future.
Okay, so we don't go buy a new wardrobe, we don't go buy a new car, the fancy sports car, but where does that money go?
Well, first and foremost, you take a step back. When you get that money, you want to first separate that from the rest of your accounts, especially your checking account, where the money tends to go quicker and spend quicker there. So that's where you want to start. And then once you've developed that plan, then you go ahead and execute to it.
Okay, so now the big question, that plan.
Yes.
What goes into that? What's the thought process as far as putting that together?
Well, okay, so it's definitely advisable to seek out some professional advice concerning how to properly account for your cash, manage it wisely, and use it to build wealth. This might include, for example, paying off consumer debt, increasing savings and emergency funds, contributing to a college fund or retirement account, using it as a down payment for a home, or setting aside money to pay taxes.
Okay, so you just mentioned taxes. That's a big thing. How much do we keep our mind on that? How important is that?
Well, first of all, it depends on the type of winnings or inheritance that you're talking about. As far as the income on inheritance, that is taxable. But as far as the inheritance itself, as a general rule of thumb, there is no federal tax on that. The only exception to the rule would be IRAs. The IRS treats each type of IRA differently. For example, on Roth IRAs, it's funded with after-tax dollars. That means the taxes have already been paid on this money, so therefore you won't have a tax burden in the future. On the other hand, traditional deductible IRAs are paid with pre-tax dollars, which means you may or will have a tax burden in the future when distribution comes to fruition. So that's that. And if you have any further questions in regards to that, the IRS has a great website that can tell you all about the further tax ramifications of that. Now, if we go to the winning side, winnings is actually considered income. So unfortunately, that would be taxable. What you can do is, if it's the prize is cash, you hit something big in Vegas, what you can do is deduct your gambling losses from those winnings, and therefore minimizing your future tax burden.
Okay, so there's a lot to think about. Kirk Nakamoto from Bank of Hawaii, we appreciate your time. By the way, all the information about this complete interview is going to be on our website, hawaiinewsnow.com. I'm Steve Uehara for Hawaii News Now.